we were talking about the role of men in the empowerment of women in this country. In fact, that's what people are saying, that we are very high in this gender ranking international because the men are more willing. Well, it's not willingness, no, but it's in the attitude. Sorry, International Women's Day.
Dapat tumuturo ka.
What you want to say is that men are unable to to cope with.
Hindi, mas maganda attitude nila toward women in general, which is why we've had presidents, we've had the Supreme Court Justice. Of course, she got kicked out by the president, but we've had the senators. I mean, what's still lacking? Dahil, syempre, yung attitude din ng men is also to blame for what's happening down there among the less privileged women who don't understand their rights, who have not enough education to know their rights. Anong lacking? Because generally, I think the Filipino men have been praised for their attitude.
Are you sure?
Toward women.
After discussing the president,
Not the president.
and the other
The
senatoriables.
Filipino men of a certain age.
It's not
Well,
a matter of
do you think
age.
that-
It's
do you think
matter
that's
of, sige na.
Do you think that's a fair observation? No, I just want to ask your
okay
opinion.
po.
Okay.
That has to
Yun
be
ang sinasabi nila.
I think that has to be backed by evidence,
Kasi
no?
matriarchal society
No.
daw tayo, and men think of their mothers, their sisters.
Well, that was during the pre-colonial times. What you were mentioning, when we have babaylands, when we have, women can decide over their
I also
own
want to
bodies,
mention the
when there was
president.
divorce.
He's saying, and I think it's true, that his closest advisor
Was
is a
the
woman,
mother.
his daughter.
The daughter.
His daughter.
Well, the daughter is not necessarily gender sensitive. No?
Okay.
We know how patriarchal her ways are, as well are. So, it has to be measured po. Don't want to speak randomly na yung mga kalalakihan sa Pilipinas, mas mulat, because we continue to do education among young men. In fact, that's one of my favorite programs that we do, no? And we still have to change perspectives. For example, one of the exercises that we do when we do education in communities and even government agencies, meron kaming questions. Kasalanan ba ng babae na siya'y maghahasa kung siya'y naglalakad ng alauna ng madaling araw ng naka-miniskirt? Ang dami mag-agree sa mga kalalakihan.
When was
So
this
lagi po. So
okay,
we do this
okay.
regularly.
Give us examples. How many percent? More than half of the men agree, or like what? Just an idea.
Half of the men.
Half of the
Hindi
men agree.
nagbabago yun.
Yes.
Yung anong
Half
yun,
the
hindi
men.
nagbabago. Yung figures.
Nagbabari po. Pero yun yung
Slight.
average. I would say na in a population of yung participants namin, mga 30 to 50, then half of them would be saying, I agree, kasalanan ng babae, rather than putting the blame on the rapist. Without questioning why the rapist was there at 1 in the morning. It was always about why was the woman
Bakit nandun babae?
there.
Yeah.
Oo, so,
That's interesting.
ang dami po natin kailangan baguhin sa community level.
Do you see any distinctions between, I don't know how often you've done the survey, but do you see any distinctions between such a survey in a rural community versus an urban community, in a community na medyo well-off versus a community na medyo mahirap? I mean, do you see any differences?
Educational levels, do any demographics show any differences?
Alam mo, pareho.
Pareho.
Alam mo what makes the difference? Empathy. When you are in a group of men who are more empathetic, that's what we observe, no? Who put themselves in the shoes of the woman, then there are better answers.
How
We
do
get
you
better
how do you
answers.
define that? How do you measure
Okay.
an empathetic man?
Hindi quantitative, no? But when they start explaining about their position, then they can feel what a rape victim would feel. And they would also say, bakit sa atin pwede tayong lumabas ng ganong oras, pero yung mga babae kine-question natin. So hindi nila nakikita na iba sila dun sa mga babae. So hindi naman dapat talaga pinag-iiba. No? Sa human rights standards, lahat yan nag-a-apply sa atin. So when there's more linking of experience or at least yung kanilang identity, hindi nila hinihiwalay sa babae, pare-pareho tayong tao. Mas merong konsiderasyon, merong mas pag-unawa na dapat lahat yan pantay-pantay ang turing sa kanila.
Curious also, have you looked also into the accessibility of pornography right now,
yeah.
especially with smartphones, data being cheaper. That's a reality. Yeah, young boys, everybody has access to
Yeah.
to pornography right now. At then a kind of pornography that, frankly, we didn't have. We didn't have before.
Panahon
It was
namin,
not.
No, really.
Ang panahon nila, ano.
Di ba?
Yung maliliit na.
Tinatago.
Hindi, but
No, thank you.
What does
Thank
that
you
do?
for asking that, because it's a cutting edge issue, and
Mm.
for people in the media and men at that to ask about this and how, well, of course, with the implication that it harms. That's very important, no? And that has to be talked about in a different, I hope, in a longer venue. But it became worse, of course. It's more accessible now kasi sa cellphone, madali, sa laptop. At again, hindi survey yung trainings namin, pero that's one of the topics. And all of them are accessing pornography now at a very young age. They started at a very young age. Since the advent of cell phones, laptops, iPads, etc. And it shapes how they view women, basically as sex objects that they can just easily access, and thinking that women enjoy violence that are being done to them in the same way that pornography portrays it. So mas malaki ang kita ng pornographers. It should be said, it's a business, and it has become more harmful to us. It's very hard for us to counter this kasi high-tech hindi naman ganun karami ang facilities natin sa NBI to be able to track them down.
Yeah.
Tapos may Pick-up Artist Academy pa. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
These
May nagbibigay
young
ng
men
training
who are like
or
popularizing,
training source.
as if they're GGSS ang tawag na kabataan, mga gwapong-gwapo sa sarili, na nagtitrain, nagpapabayad para i-train ang iba pang kabataan. So they just can bring women, to the motel, etc. And women are complaining to us on how they are like discarded like disposable objects.